to share with you how I just had a record month in my coaching business to where we generated over $79,000 in cash in just 10 days, over $106,000 total. And we are still, like right now, I have a wait list of people eager to try to jump into my program. I do not have capacity to take on more clients. And I want to share with you some of the things that have been helpful for me along the way, because not that long ago, I was struggling and I couldn't seem to get clients no matter what I tried. I would have some good months to where I would have some leads and I would get some clients coming in and it would be a decent month. And I would have some months to where it's like no matter what I did, nothing would work. Now this isn't my first big month, but it is a record in how it happened, because 100% of the people that came to me were inbound. So I want to share with you some of these things. Now first, I'm out here in Mexico, and oh my God, it is a stunning view out here, and feeling super inspired. I'm out here for a retreat, and what's really cool is I was actually asked to speak at the event, and I'm very humbled because some of the people in attendance used to be my mentors, and now I get to stand up there and share and teach to them, and it feels like an immense amount of gratitude coming from me right now. And on the way here, I was to the location I'm at. I was in a vehicle with 3 other entrepreneurs. They're all from Argentina, and one of them handed me a little gizmo and said, "Hey, can you do a quick motivational talk?" And I was like, "Sure." I didn't really know what I was going to talk about, but he gave it to me, and I just started to I had nothing planned. I just started to talk. So I want to share bits of that with you too, because that kind of leads me to what I feel like has given me the ability to have a record month in my business and to be able to have a wait list of people waiting to work with me. What I had said in that video, and I'll paraphrase here, but if you're currently in your business right now and you are struggling, and maybe you're just starting, or maybe you're in that growing phase and things are just inconsistent and you're just really trying to figure out how to get more predictable leads coming in, then what I told to him was I was in a spot in 2016 where we had just recently, between myself and an investor, franchised our fitness center concept. We had a base membership of about 300 people, so we had a successful venture going on, and so we decided to franchise it. But lo and behold, we made a pretty big mistake because the franchise ended up failing. I ended up going 45K in debt, and I was trying to run 2 different businesses now. I was trying to sell gyms, and I was trying to still operate a gym, and I just wasn't ready for that. And so 45K in debt around the time when my first daughter, I have a daughter and a son, so my firstborn daughter Ava was born. And I remember just like having no money. I couldn't even pay myself a freaking paycheck. That's how bad it was. And I remember feeling like, I was sitting in my truck a few days after she got home from the hospital, just crying, just feeling like a terrible person, a terrible man. I couldn't even support my family. And I didn't know what to do at that time, right? But what I did know, and I had this voice I feel like from God come down into me, was just go speak. And so I did. I started to go to local businesses like nutrition stores and other local businesses like the Chamber of Commerce, and I just started to speak my message. I started to talk, and I wasn't good, at least in my opinion, I wasn't good. But little by little, I started to build confidence. Then around 2017, Facebook Live became a thing, and I started to do lives on Facebook. And I sucked, man. I was so bad. I had papers that were flopping. I was so nervous. It was terrible. But after maybe 50 to 60 lives, I feel like one of my Facebook friends, she worked for a TV station down in Miami called the Health Network. She was like, "Hey, I think you'd be awesome for the show." And I was like, "All right." And so I ended up doing one show, and they liked it so much, they asked me to come back on. I think it was 2 or 3 other times. And that helped me build my confidence. And again, little by little, I built this up. And then, eventually led me to having the confidence to go out for the TV show, NBC show called American Ninja Warrior. And long story short, I ended up getting on. And so I was able to leverage that and use my story to really help me kind of build a small following. Now, I share all that with you because I've come from the side where I literally had nothing. I had nothing. We were in debt. And now I'm on the other side, and I've been all over in the middle and everything. And I share that with you because it hasn't been that long in theory. Like, you know, for me to get from 45K in debt to here has been a journey, but for me to go from 45K in debt to having a profitable business was within like a year and a half. And that might seem long to some of you, but I think to the real entrepreneurs out there, that's not a lot of time. And I'm sure I could do it faster now, but I didn't know as much as I know now back then. And so anyways, all that to say is that kind of leads me to what I want to share with you today. So I guess the point of my first part of this message is get out there and share your message, share your passion, right? There's a pastor, his name is John Wesley, or late pastor named John Wesley. And he has a quote that says, if you light yourself on fire with passion, people will come from miles to watch you burn. And so you don't even have to be good. You'll build confidence. Just get out there and share your passion, share your message, and you will start getting a lot more opportunities. Now, when it comes to the record month, so some things that led to this, and I've had other record months in my businesses before, with different offerings that we've had, and it always comes down to the same, like 3 to 4 main principles. Now, I'm going to be sharing them here at this event that I'm at, so whenever that video is done, I'll give you the full video on it, but if you want it, just let me know. But what I found, anytime that I have a record month, it comes down to a few different things. First thing is you have to have a really good offer. Like, I'm talking about a no-brainer offer. And maybe you're like, yeah, I've heard that before. But if you're like currently putting stuff out into your market, whether you're promoting on Facebook, to your email list, through DMs, whatever, and people aren't like, I want it, then it's not a no-brainer enough. Like, when I put out my offerings now, people are inbound DMing me. People want it. Now, that leads me to and I'll unpack the offer a little bit more in just a second. It leads me to the second thing, and it's having an audience. And hear me out. You don't need a big audience. If you go to any of my content, I don't have a massive amount of engagement. I don't have tons of followers. If I look at between my email list, my Facebook page, my Facebook group, which are like our primary drivers, I probably have a total of 5,000 people. And out of those 5,000 people, I maybe have 1,000 to 2,000 that are like actively opening and consuming my stuff. Right? In theory, that doesn't sound like a lot, right? Everybody's chasing these vanity metrics, right? These big numbers. But imagine if, like, you know, you walked in a stadium and had 1,000 people that were just ready to hear you, ready to listen to you. Like, what would that do for your business? And it brings me back to this concept that Kevin Kelly calls, a guy named Kevin Kelly wrote an article about called 1,000 True Fans. If you focus on building 1,000 true fans, this is what will help you also have record months. It'll help you build a business, at least it has for me. And so in theory, this is how it looked. I built a small but mighty audience through powerful messaging. So messaging comes down to basically, are you saying the right words in the right way to the right people? And if you are going to start to amass people that want to listen to you. If you are saying the right words in the right way to the wrong people, you're going to get crickets. If you're saying the wrong words in the wrong way to the right people, you're going to get crickets. So it's about saying the right words in the right way to the right people. And how you do that is, number one, is you got to know who you are speaking to. If you're not yet even getting 10 to 15 clients a month consistently in your business, like new clients, you want to speak to one avatar, right? You just want to talk to like one person's narrative. What is their very specific problem? What is the symptoms they're experiencing because of that problem? What are they complaining about? The more specific you can get to what is going on in their world, in their current narrative, and the more you could talk in that specificity in your content, the more powerful it's going to become. And the more people are going to see it on social media, because you got to think, when somebody's scrolling on social media, they are freaking doing all kinds of things, right? They're not just paying attention to read. They're not just reading your post, right? They're kind of probably doom scrolling. And so the more you could get specific, even in your titles and your headlines and how you communicate in the opening throughout, the more you're going to land and resonate with people. And then secondly, around messaging is you want to have a unique mechanism. You want to have a big idea. You want to have some kind of novelty, some kind of unique perspective that you can bring and you could share with people, because that starts to make you stand out. That makes you different. That perks up people's ears and gets them to be like, maybe I should pay attention to this because it seems a little bit different. And so there's a bit more to messaging, but those are some of the core fundamentals, is being able to speak to their specific, like the not just like the general problems, but like the symptoms, the things that they're going on deep down inside, to the dream outcomes that they want, and then having some kind of unique mechanism. This has been a massive way for us to always, in any offer that I've had, always be able to grow it really, really quickly. And then in an example of this, like in my fitness business, I had my online fitness business, I had what was called the stubborn fat solution, and that was kind of my unique mechanism, and I was very specifically solving belly fat and speaking to that. When I first launched my marketing consulting company, I was just teaching how to monetize live videos at the time, and like webinars and stuff like that. And I had what's called the C5 video framework, right? So like I've always had these unique angles to my offers and to my messaging. And then the third thing you want is to have a predictable acquisition process. And this sounds kind of like a duh moment, right? You're kind of like, yeah, of course I got to have a predictable way to get clients. But most people truly don't. They just don't. I'm going to lounge for a second. So it's like one of the things that's helped us, so to catch you up to speed, we have a really no-brainer offer, which we're going to circle back to and unpack. We have building a small but mighty audience. And I'll explain exactly how that attributed, by the way, to the record month. Talked about messaging as one of the main ways I was able to do that. And then we have the acquisition process, right? And so here's how we do it, right? We use Facebook for our top of funnel, right? This is where we're getting new friends coming in. Even if I'm on a podcast, people typically will come follow me on Facebook. And then I have a Facebook group. Not necessary, but we leverage it for, like, I host master classes in there. We have I have a very strategic training that solves a lot of problems. We have thousands and thousands of people that have watched it, and it really builds trust with people. And so almost everybody that enters our group ends up seeing that, or at least gets invited to see that. And then I send out emails. So I basically take my best content, I repurpose it to email, and I have a little mini email funnel that basically, like, I'll just put on the bottom of my email. If you're on my email list, you'll know. But I always put like a PS, and I give different ways that people can connect with me if they want to work with me deeper. And we also use the email to promote like our master classes and our longer form content. And then once a week, usually I'm putting out a YouTube video like this, and I'll repurpose it to my podcast. And what this does, it acts as like an invisible funnel, because you can't really like quantify this, but when I had when I had people that reach out via inbound DM to me, and I'm like, hey, so how long have you been following me? Like, what has resonated? They're always like, dude, either they're like, I've been reading your emails for a year. I've been silently, just following your posts. I've been watching your YouTube video. There's always some combination of that where it's hard to quantify in a way, but it works really well. And that also kind of attributes back to like building that small and mighty audience. I just want to help the right people, and I want to solve problems for you if you're the right person that I know I can best serve. And I think this kind of circles back to the offer, and we'll put a bow in this. And hopefully this is helpful. And any questions that you have or you want clarity on, feel free to reach out to me, and I'm happy to help. But solving actual problems, like your offer can sound awesome, but if you don't actually solve problems for people, you won't be in business for very long, and you won't have the conviction. I mean, I've been in business 13 years. I've had this offer, variations of this offer, for about 4 years. Like, if you want to have the staying power and you want to have a good offer, you just got to make sure that you could solve a specific problem. You don't have to be the best in the world at solving all these problems. You just have to be pretty dang good at solving one, right? So for me, I'm really, really, really good at helping coaches build not just, I was going to say like 6-figure businesses, but I think it goes even deeper around their messaging. I'm like really good. Like, people will refer people to me because that's the area of expertise that's my zone of genius, where I've gone deep in, is helping people learn how to take their message and make it connect, captivate, and convert their audience. And I show them how to plug it into content systems in the overall strategy. And so that's what I'm really good at solving for people, is getting clients via their authentic message and showing how to plug it into an actual content and acquisition system. And so whatever you are, like if you're really good at belly fat, or if you're really good at helping moms, just get really good at solving that one problem. And then you want to just talk to people, right? So if you're like not sure how to make your offer good, think about like if you were going to go to a restaurant and the server came up to you and just tried to give you food and didn't even ask you what you wanted. They were just like, here. And you're like, I'm allergic to mushrooms. And they're like, too bad. eat the mushrooms. You got to ask your audience what they want if you're going to serve them. And so a real simple way if people aren't buying your stuff, if they're not reaching out, is just ask them. Be like, hey, I'm doing some market research so I can make my offer better, so I can make my content resonate better and deeper with people. Would you mind if I ask you some questions? And just freaking ask people, hey, what are you struggling with? What is your problem? Like, what are the symptoms? Like, just talk to people and people will tell you what they want. And when you can combine a no-brainer offer, you can build a small and mighty audience, you can have a nice invisible funnel, like an acquisition system, using a top of funnel and a middle of funnel platform like Facebook or Instagram and email. And then once you have those dialed in, adding in like a longer form like YouTube and a podcast, right? You just want to make offers, right? Like, just make offers. So usually once a month, I'll put out an offer, or whenever we have spots open on our wait list, I might be like, hey, this week I've got 2 spots opened, and I'll go to our wait list first. And if nobody on the wait list takes it, then I'll promote it out to like my bigger audience, right? I'll promote it to my Facebook and email and stuff like that. There's a lot more to it, and I'm going to be doing a talk here at this event, and so I will share the talk with you if you want it. So just let me know. And if you have any questions, let me know. And remember this, entrepreneurship, business growth, it isn't for the birds. It does take a lot of perseverance, what is the word? One of those words, you know what I'm trying to say. A lot of resolve. And so no matter if you're starting business, if you're growing a business and you're just having inconsistency, you could do this. If I can do this, you can do this. I have full faith in you. Your message matters now more than it ever has before. Don't be afraid to speak it, okay? Get out there, be seen, be heard, be impactful. Subscribe, leave a comment. Much love. Bye for now.